Welcome back to the 25 Days of Christmas. My name is Shane Reinert, and we have another great Christmas story coming up for you today. One day, shortly before Christmas, our third child and first son, Bay, was born. As I said goodbye that evening to my exhausted but joyful wife and left the hospital, the warmth and joy that accompanied the birth of my son overwhelmed the cold chill of that clear December night. The following December, we celebrated the first birthday of our dark-eyed, dark-haired son. The day after Christmas, during an evening of games at the home of my in-laws, our revelry was interrupted by an awful shriek that came from my mother-in-law. "He's not breathing." She had gone to check on Bay, who had been sleeping on her bed, and discovered his cold, lifeless body. We immediately rushed our son to the hospital, attempting CPR on the way. We were grief-stricken to learn that nothing could be done to save his life. He had died from sudden infant death syndrome. Since then, Christmas has been filled with much deeper meaning for our family. Each year on Christmas Eve, when we take down our children's stockings to fill them, one solitary stocking is left on the fireplace mantel. Throughout the remainder of the holiday, the stocking serves as a reminder of Bay. Each year around the time of Bay's birthday, my wife and I drive to the cemetery where he is buried. At each visit, we find that someone else has arrived before us and placed something on our son's grave. One year, it was delicate small flowers. The next year, a stuffed bear. The next, a little Christmas tree, decorated with miniature ornaments. We have no idea who is responsible. The gifts which touch us so deeply are never accompanied by a note or a card. When I hinted to my mother-in-law that I knew her secret, she denied responsibility. The following year, when she and my father-in-law were serving a church mission abroad, we found that someone had placed a gift on our son's grave. Even after inquiring with other family members and friends, we were unable to solve this mystery. 10 years after our son's death, a series of snowstorms prevented us from traveling short distances. As a result, our annual visit to our son's gravesite was delayed until several days after Christmas. When we finally made it, we saw a small decorated tree, mostly buried in snow, standing bravely at the head of Bay's small grave. The effort it must have taken for someone to get to the cemetery throughout the heavy snowfall overwhelmed us. Tears streamed down our faces, and we realized that someone still shared our grief and loss. After that, we were more resolved than ever to discover the identity of the benefactor and thank him for showing us such compassion. But as we reflected more, we realized that whoever is doing these acts of kindness did not want to be identified. We decided to allow our friend to remain anonymous. We replaced our need to thank our friend with a desire to simply live better. It is now hard for us to speak ill and criticize any of our friends or family members because any of them could be our anonymous friend. Often while during service, my wife and I will pause and to examine our hearts. Are we doing enough good things to be seen by others, or for the pure love of Christ and our fellow man? For us, charity, humble, and never seeking its own, is symbolized by a beautifully decorated tree, half buried in snow, resting quiet in a quiet cemetery. Keep coming back. The 25 Days of Christmas are still coming here on Anderson Community Television.